Welcome everyone to Crypto Wall Street. I'm Charlie Tosco. We are here in New York City. I'm sitting here with Joffe from Interplay. He's the Director of Business Development. And just to make it very clear here, Interplay is not a ICO, a blockchain technology company, or anything close to that. It's a funding and venture capital firm. Close to that, we'll talk more about that. But it is interesting and it is related to blockchain and cryptos as well, and we'll get back to that later. But Adam, thank you for taking time to talk to us today.
Yeah, thanks for coming in.
Just tell us shortly what Interplay is doing.
Sure. So Interplay has three main business verticals. The first being our early stage investments in companies like Warby Parker, Coinbase, Fly Cleaners, Burrow, the couch company headquartered in New York, was one of the more recent ones. The second business vertical being your traditional incubator or accelerator model that we have early stage companies go through. And the third, our main business vertical, is the startup foundry and what you kind of see in the office here. So all of these different companies we have co-founded from day one. They've all been companies, ideas that we want to start. The way it works is we have a CEO co-founder role up on our website. We bring in the qualified applicants, and if they are willing to and we want to get into business with them, we'll co-found a company. They are all B2B service industry companies, and what I like to say, inherently unsexy industries.
Okay.
So for example, we have a commercial insurance brokerage house, we have a strategic partnerships firm, we have a legal firm, we have a digital marketing firm, business process outsourcing company, a facilities management company, a staffing and recruiting company, and the list goes on. And we have now 14 companies that we've co-founded with almost 300 people employed across them.
Wow.
And we're servicing over 10% of the venture-backed community. So
it's pretty seasoned, you know, in the different industries as well you're covering here.
Yeah, definitely. And that definitely feeds into why we've been successful on the investment side, getting exposure to this space, because all these companies do cater to startups.
Yeah.
So getting exposure to the space through the different clients, and maybe we'll see an investment early on and jump on it before it's really made public to everyone else.
Sure. And definitely the startup phase that you talk about here is the interesting part, because I know that you are involved with Coinbase as well, which is directly related to cryptocurrencies, since they're changing fiat money to different specific types of cryptocurrencies. But just tell us, be quick here, or tell us how you see the blockchain companies like being a larger part of the venture capital, or how it has affected you, how you see the companies utilizing that.
Sure. Well, from my own personal exposure and knowledge, I definitely see, a lot of money being thrown around in these ICOs, and it's definitely mimicked something you see in the VC community as well, especially these days. The amount of money that is just being thrown at these companies, that a lot of them, in my opinion, don't have a product or an application or a use case, and they use a lot of buzzwords, and everyone's jumping on this blockchain and crypto hype, and I feel like there isn't a lot of data and support, real hard evidence behind it. And I think that the qualifications and the criteria that equal a sound investment are no longer as stringent, and people just want to get in the space. So they'll throw money at an ICO. And I was recently at a blockchain event, and someone stood up on the panel and explained the company that just ICO'd and what they do. And I raise my hand and ask a question, and I say, so what exactly do you do? And he repeats it in different words, still unclear. And I say, okay, so just to be clear, you're not really sure what's going on here. He basically said, yeah. And that to me was insane, and just the market being super saturated.
But is that something that is similar to some of the venture capital firms? Well, they're startups that are looking for venture capital, or how do you see that?
I definitely
more
see
saturated in the cryptocurrency space now.
I don't know if it's more or less saturated. I think they're both saturated. I'd have to look at some data to answer that question. But
interesting. Interesting. That's definitely interesting to see, because there is a lot of similarities, and a lot of people definitely say that all the ICO is basically just VC processes. And that's what it is. Everything's just covered in a more fancy, well-presented way.
Exactly.
So that's interesting. But just very quickly, Adam, tell us how the process works, how the business model here works with Interplay. If I'm a startup, for example, an ICO, we have an idea and we want Interplay to work with us. I mean,
For an investment?
Yeah, for investment.
So, I mean, the process is a little proprietary in terms of how we look at investments, so I don't want to get too into detail, but, you know, it goes through different phases of, we definitely, in our investments, we like to see traction, and we like to see sales, and we like to see revenue, and we don't really invest in companies prior to that. So, I mean, in terms of our investments in the space, it's really only been Coinbase so far.
Okay.
We are looking to get involved in other ways that I can't mention, and you know, other investments as well. But to be quite frank, we haven't really invested in many or in any ICOs or blockchain companies for that matter, besides for Coinbase.
Is there a reason for that, or is it just because of, like, it's still an early phase for it?
It's still an early phase for us, you know, and again, the person who's running point on our fund can speak more to this, but yeah, definitely too early for us. We, as I said, our main business vertical is the startup foundry, so we're kind of focused on that, and the investment has taken a backseat. However, with all, you know, everything that's going on in the space, we definitely are looking to get involved.
Yeah, and just out of your personal opinion here in the end, where do you see, now that you have you're involved in a lot of startups and the VC process here, where do you see the crypto space being, let's just say, in 2018? Things move very fast.
My personal opinion, I am a strong believer in the Ethereum blockchain, and I think that I don't think this is a bubble. I think the tech needs to be proven. It hasn't been proven yet, and it needs to be simplified, digestible for everyone, and I mean, in my personal opinion, I think that a lot of these other blockchains will fall off. Ethereum will be the winner in the end, and the coins and applications that are being built for the Ethereum blockchain, some of which I think will be great, some of which I think are garbage.
Okay, just why do you what do you
believe in
Ethereum?
Ethereum? I think that their whole system, how they constructed the blockchain, and especially I think what most people would understand is the smart contracts. I think that the aspect of the smart contracts and how they're executed and how they work is just an addition to the blockchain and this decentralized system that makes it work and makes it viable and sustainable in the long term, and not just a store of value or a currency.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Interesting. Well, Adam, thank you for taking time to talk with us today.
Yeah, thanks for coming in.
Thank you, everyone. This was Crypto Wall Street. If you aren't already signed up for my monthly newsletter here below this video, and you will receive valuable information about stuff coming out and also views from other companies that we interview here. With that being said, I wish you a good day.